guys, and welcome back to Werner Farms. So we are going to go through the planter one last time, just do a couple of tweaks on it, get the 8530 hooked up to the drill. Hopefully we can get our rye top dressed today and get our front tank empty, because our back tank right now has corn in furrow in it. The middle tank has thiazole in it, and for our soybean starter that needs to go in the front tank, so we can get that mixed up today and get our in furrow mixed up in the cone bottom tank, the middle tank. So we're just waiting on right now to get our rye top dressed so we can get all that mixed up, get the planter primed, basically just meaning getting our in furrow pump and our starter pumps primed on the planter. Possibly maybe late this afternoon we might start socking some beans in the ground. Who knows? Double checking all of our air cylinders. Nope, that one's, they replaced that fitting last year. Because last year we had a couple of those elbow fittings break off. That one was replaced last year. Everyone that has a stainless fitting on it has been replaced. Alright, those look good. Airbags are all aired up and ready to go. Just doing a leak check right now. That takes a couple minutes on the 2020 monitor. Setting the seed depth right now. Setting the downforce on the closing wheels. So the planter is now on the move. Dad and I are taking the planter over to the river right now, at least so it's over there, because we're going to start planting beans over there. For those of you that don't know, we've got bean meters in the planter right now, so we aren't going to go plant corn, we're going to go plant beans. But I've got my doubts that we're actually going to today. Dad and I are headed over to our house. I'm taking the 8530 over, and we're going to get the semis backed out, and I think the 4630 might be in front of the drill, so we'll get that moved out of the way. Batteries might be an issue on that, just thinking ahead. And get that out of the way, get the drill hooked up to the 8530, and get that out. Really, all we need to do on that is just go through and grease it, I believe. Should be. And our guy sounded like he was headed over with the sprayer to get the Harmony on, along with the Palisade and the premium grain fill on the wheat, or excuse me, rye. And then we're going to go ahead immediately and put the streamer bars on and get the 32 applied. That way we can get that front tank empty, that way we can get starter mixed up for the beans and get the thiazole out of the middle tank. Input our premium in furrow mix for the beans in the middle tank. The 4630 is in front of the applicator, and I should be able to just back in there and pull that thing right out, so that's good. I'm glad we don't have to move that. But eventually, when we need to get the 28 applicator out here pretty soon, we'll have to get that moved. that feature. That is so awesome. Shouldn't have to move that 4630. Yeah, we're clear. Alright, awesome. Let's get this out of here. Our guy is spraying the Harmony as of right now on the rye. So I want to get that out of here. That way I can get the semis back in here and we can get nozzles switched and he can get filled up. I don't have any of the hydraulics hooked up. Not worried about that right now. I'll do that later. Main priority is just to get this thing out of the shed. That way we can get the semis out of the way. So that is the last shot for top dress. We do a split application, 2 top dress applications. Basically all that's left for the rye will be fungicide then, and then the rye is completely done for this year. And we're looking at harvesting this. Rye comes off later than wheat, and this will probably come off around, really just depends on the summer, but typically probably around middle of July. I'm going to take this back over to the farm and I'm going to work on getting the soybean starter and the soybean end furrow mixed up. That way we're ready to go first thing in the morning. Neighbor did have a chain for one of the fertilizer pumps, so we're able to get that on first thing in the morning, and we'll end up repaying him. You know, we'll go off and get some extra chain that we've got on. That way we've got it on hand then, and we'll get him an extra length. That way we can repay him for having that for us. So honestly, was it a big deal that we didn't have it today since we're going to put it on tomorrow? No, but it was just real nice of him that he had it. So saves us a trip. But I guess the screens for the nozzles are going to be in tomorrow anyways down at John Deere's, so I don't know. Really, it wasn't a big deal, and we're not going to plant beans today. We're not going to have time whatsoever. It's going on close to, I think, 6 o'clock right now, so I just want to get the fertilizer mix. That way it's just one less thing we got to worry about tomorrow. Recirculation valve off, bottom draw on, pump hopefully gonna turn on. Alright, I need 210 gallon out of here. So 210 gallon of thiazole is coming out of that tank and going in to this tank. So then 210 roughly will be left in this tank for the second batch that will go in this tank sometime tomorrow. Alright, so this is Quadrant RS. This is the exact same mix that we're running on the corn. This has boron, zinc, magnesium, and manganese in it with a gallon of sugar, so 64 ounces of micronutrients and a gallon of sugar complex, which is sugar and humic acid. So 1.5 gallon to the acre. We're calling this our 2x2 corn and soybean mix. 157.5 gallon of that will go in that front tank with the thiazole, and then the balance to get us to 23.5 gallon to the acre, which is a starter rate that we run on our corn. That way we don't have to change pump settings or anything on the planter. Balance will be water to get that up to 23.5 gallon. So 2 plus 1.5, that's 3.5. So the balance of basically I need 20 gallon to the acre of what I'm mixing in there, which would be 210 divided by 2. I need 105 times 20. So I need a boatload of water. So I'm going to fill this tote with the exact amount that I need for the next fill up. That way it just goes all in for the next batch. So there's roughly 72.5 left there. So 157.5 minus 72.5. 85 gallons, so I need to pull 85 gallon out of that one, so 275 minus 85, there should be 190 gallon left in that tote and 157.5 in this one. So what's left in this cone bottom tank for what we call the in-furrow tank is 210 gallon of thiazole. So that 210 gallon of thiazole and that 157.5 gallon, the tote closest to the excavator, all goes in on the next second batch, which would be the last batch for the 30-inch row beans for the bean starter, or 2x2x2 starter. So I gotta run over to our house and get another tote. That way I can pump that thiazole in its own tote, because not all that thiazole is gonna go in that 275 gallon tote. So I need an extra tote, so I'm gonna run over to our house, grab that, pump that out, pump this in-furrow in, and then all I need to do then is go over to the water tender or spray tender and pull, I believe, 570 gallon of water for the balance to get it up to 3 gallon to the acre for the in-furrow. My thiazole thing. Let's just hope I got this cleaned out when I brought it over there. Yep, spotless. Awesome. Alright, so that thiazole is going in this tote, and then that in-furrow will go in our in-furrow tank, or aka the cone bottom. start for me. Alright, so we've got enough in-furrow now. In-furrow is done. I just got to switch this over to the 3-inch pump, get that rinsed off and cleaned up, and pump the balance of water in for that. Since the spray tender is 1.5 inch fill, back when Dad made it, he made it 1.5 inch fill, so when we build a new one it will be 2 inch. But so on some of our tanks out at the pivot, they're 1.5 inch, so that's what this adapter is actually for the fertilizer pump when we're fertigating. So when we need to go from 1.5 inch to 2 inch on the spray tender, we use this. So we're 1.5 inch to 2 inch. We need a 2 inch to 3 inch coupling to go to 3 inch. In the front tank here for our 2x2x2 mix for the beans, I need about 2,467.5 gallons, so 2,470 gallons. I'm just going to round it up to 2,500 roughly, just because you're not going to be able to exactly gauge 2,467.5 gallon on this tank. So and 2,500 I'll put it a hair under that, way it'll be pretty darn close. So got a long ways to go, but once this is done, everything is mixed up, at least for the in-furrow is completely good to go. This is just going to get us across 105 acres, and then tomorrow, after we get across 105 acres, obviously we're gonna have to do this all again, but at least there's no transferring of from tote to tote to tote or anything. It's all just both those totes go in here and then come over here and just pump it full of water and then head back out to the field then. All right, that should be good. Give this little pump a rest. Well, we are ready to rock and roll first thing in the morning now, except we just got to put a chain on the planter for the fertilizer pump, and we need to prime the planter and just sort out the seed that we need, and we're good to go. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.